Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. I'm in my trifecta at the moment. Backpacks, love them. 30 litre backpacks, love them. 30 litre backpacks made by companies that are well respected using pretty tough material. I'm in my frickin' element. So here today we are going to have a look at the Archeon 30 from Osprey. So as we usually do, we'll go through some measurements, capacity, we'll have a look at the materials, and then we'll look into the pack itself. Measurements wise, I put the measurements down here, but this is a 30 litre backpack. For me, I tend to carry a little bit more than I need, so 28 to 32 litres is the sweet spot for me, and this sits perfectly in the middle of that. There are some smaller versions of this. I believe it goes down to a 24 litre pack. There's also a 27, 28 litre, and then there's also a larger version of this that you can fit more into. I went for this version over the 28 litre. The extra 2 litres definitely helps, but there's some extra features that you get on this that you don't on the standard kind of 28 litre version. As far as materials is concerned, so this is made from an 1800D nylon, with Osprey being very kind of socially minded and saving the world one plastic bag at a time. This is made from recycled material, which, you know, if you're into that, that's great. For me, as long as it works, I'm not really that bothered whether it's recycled or not. I will say that with the material, so all through the outside here, you'll see it's all made from this same 1800D nylon. However, they've been a little bit cheeky in this. So on the sides, there are these large pouches for water bottles, extra storages, but they've almost gone, well, it's out of sight, out of mind. So on the inside here, it just kind of goes down to this, I'm guessing 500D nylon instead. They'll have probably said, well, you know, it's so that we can help to manage and reduce some weight, but I don't know, if you get something that is rubbing on here, that's fine, but 2 inches down, then you've got it rubbing on here, and it's a bit cheeky. But I will say that it's only really this section here where you've got this nice elastic material. At the bottom here, you then still have this 1800D nylon here as well, so you still get the same abrasion resistance. Mainly, I suppose you could say I'm just being picky because it's the inside of the pocket. Zips throughout are all YKK zips. All of the hardware on here, I think the hardware is their version of the hardware. That's what it seems. I should have checked. No, it's ITW hardware, so it's good, recognised hardware. And then on the front, where the lid comes up, you have one of these. I think it's aluminium, but it's nice and tough. You just kind of pass it through there, which of course I'm trying to do whilst filming, so is ultimately 10 times harder than trying to do it not filming. Right, okay, so where were we? Going through some actual features on here. So on the bottom, you have all of your more of that 1800D material here. There is a zip on here, which enclosed in here, you have a nice rain hood, which is all integral into it. I like the fact that they added that. They probably didn't have to, but with Osprey being the type of company they are, they want to make sure that if you're out and about and you get in some wet, then you'll be covered. Now there is a DWR coating on this, so if it's a light shower, the water will just brush off. If you find that you're in a heavy shower and you need to, you know, there's going to be some time before you can get somewhere, then you can quickly whip that out and, you know, you're nice and covered. There are no lashing points on the bottom. There is a small grommet here to let out some water if you choose to. Coming up from the bottom though, we do have some lashing points here. Mainly these are ski poles or walking poles, and then as we get up to the top here, then you've got your additional points here that they can pass through then to go through those. On the sides, which I have kind of already touched on, both of the sides are identical, so you have some compression straps. These compression straps, if you want to, you can completely take them off. Now I say completely take them off, what I mean by that is, rather than having buckles where you could unclasp a buckle and then you can, you can open those out. With these, if you're not using the sliders on here to allow some more, what you can do is, let's say you've got a like I've done today with my tripod. When I brought my tripod out, I've passed my tripod into this, took this out, reached it over, then fastened it on, and then kind of pulled that down to make sure that it's nice and tight. But both of the sides are identical. You've got more of the 1800D, and then you've got this elasticated material. Now these are huge. These are genuinely cavernous. So I have a 9-inch span. I can put my hand in there. It comes past maybe about ½ an inch. The depth of these goes from, well, it's from my fingertips down to about there. They're probably about 12 inches deep. On this side, I've got a small tripod, and I've got a camera which I'm doing some extra filming on today. I have a 750 milliliter bottle in here, and I could easily put 2 of them in here with no issues whatsoever. What's that? Oh, just a little bit of cordage from the last time I was out. 2 bits of cordage from the last time I was out. But yes, if you wanted to put a military style canteen in here, if you wanted to put a 1 litre, what's that, is that 32 ounce or 45 ounce bottle in here, it will fit in with no issues whatsoever. The elastic in the top as well, it has an extra elasticated cuff, so when it's in, you don't really have to worry about it coming out. For other longer items, if you're out doing some bushcrafting, you can easily put an axe in here, but I would definitely recommend making sure that it's got the sheath on there, and then you can pass it up through the top here and cinch this down to make sure that it's stowed away good and fast. Now, as far as the top is concerned, this really does take me back to a lot of those old backpacks that I first got into getting outside with. So this has a suspended hood on this. Now, I will say, so it's suspended, however, so look, I can put my hand in through the back here. It would have been nice if you could lift and raise this. I do believe on the larger version of this, it does have a completely floating hood, so it can come up and down. But if there are larger items in here that you want to have in your bag, you can have them coming out of the back here. So if you're out hunting, or whether you've got a tent or some poles, whatever it is that you've got in here, it will allow that to reach out through the back. When it's not though, all you have to do is just pull this over and it'll fit over there perfectly to make sure that no water gets into your pack. On the back here there is a large zipped pocket that, like you get with a lot of these, fills up the top of the lid. So now pulling this back, hopefully you'll be able to see here as well that we have some more storage within the inside now of the lid. So there is a zipper here which will open this up, and you can see that there's a mesh pocket here that you can put more items into, and then there is also a key stay in there as well. Now this is very similar to another brand, Mystery Ranch, with their Y opening. So you do have a pull tab on the top here so that you can open this up, open this out. On the inside here it uses this lighter nylon material like you get with a lot of snow hoods or snow skirts, so that you can pull this tight. And then you have a large zip, and it's a double zip, so you can open it from the bottom to get into the bottom of the pack if you know that there's something in the bottom of the pack that you need, or you can open it up from the top and you can splay this open completely so that you can get to everything that's inside. Now I've just thrown in some bits, so I've got my bag for my tripod, I've got my camera bag, I've also got some other things that I'm going to be filming here today with. I've just got those in the bottom, but this is your full 30 litres in here. It's big, it's cavernous. There is little to no organisation in here, so if you were after like side compartments or maybe the use on the front here, I think it's a shame. They could have looked at what Mystery Ranch does with one of their packs, and yeah, not everybody wants to copy what everybody else does, but they could have done their own version or had some sort of organisation in here, which would have been nice. Now there is a sleeve through the back if you wanted to. You could put a laptop in here if you're going to use it for day-to-day use. It's not particularly large, it's probably about 10 inches across, so you're not going to be able to put a massive laptop in here, but you can easily put a 2 or 3 litre water bladder into this, and then you have a little bit here so that you can fasten that on. Behind here you also have a little zip, which is a bit tricky to open, and then on the inside you have your frame sheet. If you wanted to take that out, you can certainly take that out, but it's a bit of a pain, so I'm not going to do it now. Well, I did it the first time and realised that it's too much of a pain. But yes, if you wanted to reduce some weight, then you could take that out so that it's completely removed. There is a lot of space in this, and as I said before, 30 litres for me is just right. I can take whatever I want pretty much on a daily walk like this. I can bring all my camera equipment out to make sure that I've got enough, exactly what I need for the day to do some recording. Now flipping this around, actually I forgot to mention, so on the top here there are a couple of extra little additional lashing points. There are a couple others on the front, so if you did want to put some bungee shock cords through this, then you can do. That works pretty good as well. But yeah, so there are a few extra little lashing points. The water hydration bladder section that was in there, so here on the top bit here, this is where it will come out. So with the floating lid, you can make sure that that stays down and doesn't kind of let water in there, but with the hydration hose opening here, it will allow your hose to come out, and then that can go down either shoulder. It's not a left or a right, it's smack bang in the middle, and then you can divert it in whichever way that you want. In fact, the opening to this, rather than it just being one opening, it's a port that comes either out to the left or out to the right. Just behind that you have a grab handle. The grab handle is kind of average. It could be a bit bigger. Now, I will say, so rather than it being wide, it does come out quite a bit. So if you want to hang this on a tree, it's great. And if you do want to grab it, it's not too bad to grab, but I think considering you can put a bit of weight in here, if they'd have used a wider piece, this is probably about 10mm webbing, they could have put a larger bit on there. Now the suspension system wise, so it's great, we do have some load adjusters on here. I'm just going to undo them slightly for now, but you do have load adjusters on. When this is on your back, you can pull down on these to make sure that it's as close to your body as possible. Certainly helps with any sway in the pack whilst walking. The padding in the straps is very nice, it's very firm, so rather than going for a wider, more plush padding, they've gone for a more narrow, firmer padding, which, yeah, I'm kind of torn between either. I can see the advantages of one over the other, and I can see the advantages, the other way around. But yeah, it works really well when it's on. It gives you just the amount of comfort that you would need to walk with a bag like this. You do have a sternum strap. The sternum strap, so this is the one thing, so the sternum strap is on a slider system. I do prefer a ladder system so that it doesn't move around, but I have found with this that it's not really moved around all that much. Maybe I should kind of change my opinions on which one that I prefer. But then they come down to the bottom, and then they come into this section here where the waistband is. So the waistband on this is integrated into this bottom lumbar support area. So the whole suspension system is adjustable with this, which is great. This is a 30 litre pack, and it comes with an adjustable back system, which is brilliant. So on the inside here, what you have, so you have quite a lot of hook and loop. So once you've undone the hook and loop, this section here, as you can see hopefully, this lifts up and down. So you can put this, let's see if I can get it about right where it was. Yeah, so on the inside what they've done is they've stitched these little markers on here, which are roughly about 1 inch apart, so that you can get this so that it's dialed in perfectly for your shoulder height against the lumbar support here. Is there anything on the inside? No, there isn't. I thought there was for a second. There is some kind of aluminium rods in here. I believe you can take these out as well if you choose. They kind of have one of those flaps at the top, so if you can wrench it over there, you can then slide them out. The back panel on this uses this really nice kind of plush felt material, which is definitely different. I haven't come across this material before, but I have had this quite a while now. I've had this for about 6 months. I've probably tested this more than I have done some other packs, and it's been great in the summer. And then you come down, and as I mentioned, so this is contoured into here. It's not one that you can remove the waistband on this. If you're the type that really wants to be able to remove them, you might need to look towards a different bag. But it's great, you know, it's perfectly contoured around your waist, and then you have your 1 inch webbing on there as well. To either side of those, you also then have these little pockets, which are nice. Just means that you can stow away some gear, whether that's snacks, whether that's a compass, or whether it is that you're using this to commute every day and you want to put your transit card in there, whatever it is that you're doing, then, you know, yeah, it's really good little stash pockets for that sort of thing. And as I've said many times in the past, the proof of the pudding really is in the tasting. It carries very well, and I mean very well. The lumbar section on this, once you've got the suspension system dialed in just right, fits perfectly. It just kind of hugs the bottom of your back, but because of that integrated belt that is contoured to the back as well, it just kind of hugs those love handles. But when you've got the strap on and you've got it cinched down, because it is really only a 1 inch strap, and you think, oh, okay, I would have preferred something maybe a little bit thicker, but it comes round just past enough so that it doesn't kind of dig in. It helps to reduce, or it helps to lift some of that weight off your shoulders. Walking with it is great. Certainly there are no pinch points, there are no warm spots, anything like that. Movement, now I'd say movement is what you'd expect from a pack like this, but when you do find with load adjusters, there's kind of less movement through your shoulders, but still it's nothing to write home about. More of an observation than really a criticism or anything like that. It's a big fly that's just landed on the screen there. I don't know whether you could see that or not, but clearly I could. So yes, it's a really nice pack, and I would highly recommend it. For me, having that front zip and giving easier access to your gear that's in there, especially because it can zip up from the bottom as well, I think is great, and that's the reason that I went for the 30 over the 28. If you're not particularly interested and do want to save a little bit more space, then the 28 is practically identical. It's just ever so slightly scaled down, and you don't have that zip on the front. But I'll leave some links. In fact, yeah, of course, as it's YouTube as usual, I will leave some links that you can see more from these packs and where you can pick one up. But yes, really like this pack. I've had a bit of an Osprey kind of twinge recently. 2 other packs that I've looked at within the last 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, I'll leave a link to wherever I'm supposed to leave that link. But yeah, so links below. I'll also leave some of my social media links as well, so that you can see more from me here on Moorlander EDC, and also my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. I think we've been watching too much Office. I've got Bears Beats Battlestar Galactica stuck in my head. Today, we're here today to look at Bears Beats Battlestar Galactica. Had that song stuck in my head the other day. I was going to put somebody off the breakfast. Alright, where were we? Okay. This one, which we will have a look at. So this has a zip on the front here. So almost kind of similar to, well actually no, well actually I guess it is. No, fuck, I'm going to have to do that a bit again. I did it again. I went off-piste. Randy, don't go off-piste because you're a dick. That's what I should. I should get a tattoo. Dickheads go off piste, but then I'll probably end up like offending loads of skiers. Skiers piste, don't they? I'm sure it's piste or pistas. Anyway, you know what I mean. So yeah. I don't know when this is going out. I've got a video, 2 pieces of content today on what I might do for fun. Because I've not edited either of both, because I'm still out here, I might put it out there and just go, what would you like to see? This or that? So it might come out on a Wednesday, or it might come out on a Sunday, depending on you, your choice. And now I'll forget to do this bit, and it'll probably come out today. Anyway, yes, have a lovely day, whatever day it is, and I hope you're well, wherever you are in the world, and nice and safe. I know there's a lot of shit going on in the world at the moment, so wherever you are, I hope you're well, I hope you're healthy, and I hope so are your friends and family as well. Cool. See you in a bit.